All right, so I took a day off today, but I still wanted to react to this, so I'm just going to do it offline. It'll be cool. So, yeah, this is The Dangerous Rise of Andrew Tate. It's from Vice. There's been some people talking about it. It's been circulating. Andrew Tate's obviously a very hot topic right now because he's not a very good person. Let's get this started, though. I'm sure we'll get into the specifics as we go on, so.
Do you ever wonder why some people who you've never heard of before all of a sudden appear everywhere?
Andrew! Not really. No. I guess that's just internet virality for you, huh? Just kind of things that happen.
Andrew Tate is an Anglo-American kickboxer turned influencer whose extreme misogynist videos have helped make him the most viral man in the world.
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. What's up, bitch?
On December 29th, he and his brother were arrested by Romanian police as part of...
You know, it's interesting because a lot of people will say like, no, that's just the stuff that goes viral. People take that out of context. That's not actually him. The thing is that all the videos, the misogynistic videos, are taken out of context by his fans. It's always his fans signal boosting it because he does that whole Hustlers University thing where, you know, you'll get only 3, huh? Where you will get more money if you recruit other people. So it gives people like an incentive for them to put out some Andrew Tate video, and they'll take the thing that's most provocative, that riles people up the most, the stuff that people like the most, and they'll signal boost that. That's what it is. And a lot of people resonate with that message of like anti-woman more than like any self-improvement. People can say like, well, Andrew Tate helped me self-improve. It's like, okay, but let's say that's true. There's plenty of other people that you could look at for self-improvement. He doesn't say anything super astounding. Let's be absolutely real. I'm sure he helps some people, but he doesn't really give any massively crazy advice. And if I said the same things about like black people that he said about women, you would call me racist and wouldn't listen to me. So like, let's be real here. It's not, he doesn't say anything that's worth him, the horrible things that he says about women, as well as the things that, you know, it's the webcam business. We'll get into the specifics later, but...
part of a rape and human trafficking investigation.
The Matrix has attacked me.
A few months before their arrest...
Oh, the Matrix has attacked them, guys.
Human trafficking investigation.
The Matrix has attacked me.
You gotta love it, bro. The entire world's a conspiracy. The Matrix. It's the Matrix, guys. It couldn't just be him. He couldn't just be... he couldn't have just done it. It doesn't make any sense, right? I mean... the conspiracy theory is crazy, man. It's interesting how he's been able to manipulate so many people into thinking that like there's just some like grand scheme conspiracy theory out to get him. It's crazy.
A few months before their arrest, I was in Romania trying to get access to their so-called secret society, the War Room.
The War Room is the most powerful network on the face of the planet today.
Andrew Tate.
To get inside, I had agreed to endure a professional cage fight in Romania.
I know he's gonna lose, but wow, he's actually in there.
Along with 100 Tate superfans.
We shouldn't be slaves. We shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs.
I need to grow. I need to get better. I need to evolve. I'm not telling.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with working 9 to 5. If you have like, there's no issue with 9 to 5s. The issue is that companies aren't paying people enough. That's really what the issue is. And they're exploiting people's labor. I'm not saying capitalism is fundamentally bad. I'm saying that like they very clearly profit margins shouldn't be as crazy as they are. You know, you're seeing companies with like record profits while we're seeing recessions and everything. That's a bigger issue. A lot of people's frustration comes from like a lack of ability to like provide for themselves and their family. And that's because of like big businesses and rich people taking advantage of people. Andrew Tate's one of those rich people who takes advantage of people. I don't know what to tell you.
For myself. Nobody else will be. That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
The shame hold on to.
What I found out
My plan was to sow anarchy.
is that this recent arrest appears to be just the tip of the iceberg.
This is definitely a hit piece.
I don't care.
The real story
We've clearly conquered the internet.
began years ago.
There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
My ex-boyfriend was
I don't know. There's a good number of women complaining. What is he talking about?
radicalized by Andrew Tate. He was sweet and I guess vulnerable to being brainwashed by Andrew Tate and his cult.
People don't know what he's done.
The Dangerous Rise of Andrew Tate.
If you haven't heard of Andrew Tate yet, it's only a matter of time before he pops up on your newsfeed. His videos have been viewed over 11 billion times, and in July he was more Googled than Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump. He's been called the king of toxic masculinity.
He has said that rape victims should, quote, bear responsibility.
He's you know, I remember actually hearing those things and trying to like good faith Andrew Tate, but frankly, we're at a point now where it's like impossible. I mean, just the way that he talks about running his webcam business, where he talks about how he treats the women the same way that prostitutes treat their pimps. I mean, that's a horribly abusive situation. And if you disagree with me, then you've just never, then like, God bless you for being so sheltered. You know, I grew up in an area where there's plenty of people coming up to my car, asking me if I wanted to have, you know, if I want to have a good time. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of vulnerable people. Nobody really does prostitution. Nobody does it unless it's kind of out of convenience or like because they have nothing else to go for. And especially with the things coming out about like the lover boy stuff where he would try to get women to fall in love with him. It's a form of really like adult grooming to that lover boy stuff. He even admitted it. He's like, it was my job to get women to fall in love with me and then make them do this, that, and the other thing. And he would put them into a situation where they felt like they needed him when they really didn't. And then like there was issues of like, I don't doubt these issues of coercion and whatnot. I mean, there's so many red flags with this guy. It's gone so far. And I've heard the audios, and I know people want to dismiss that as part of the Matrix and AI too, but you know, it's interesting that when evidence comes out against Andrew Tate, everything is just part of the Matrix or it's all fake. And it's like, what will it take? What will it take, people? I don't understand. I just don't get it.
For being raped.
We're about to enter his compound in Romania, which was raided earlier this year as part of the rape and human trafficking investigation that led to his arrest in 2022.
Is that true that you sequestered an American girl?
She's not even pretty. This girl's average. She's ugly. I don't have time for this bullshit.
What about the rape accusation?
That's not true at all.
Hello, is this Andrew Tate's house? I'm Matt.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
Just a second to have a confirmation from Mr. Tate.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you just let me know when we're allowed.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you.
This place is giant.
Yeah, I can give you a quick tour. I can't show you a lot of it. A lot of it's like off limits, but I can show you some of it. Gee, come bite then. Show them how scary you are.
Is this the normal level of security you have for your house every day, or is this just for us?
This is the normal level of security I have in my house every day. I'm prepared for all
Why?
eventualities. It's better to be paranoid.
Well, I think he might have some kind of weird connections to like some kind of gang, so it makes sense, I guess.
Kind of like cars.
I can tell, yeah.
This door leads to... I can't take you in there. That's classified. Up on there, I can't take you in there either. It's classified. You do know if you go to any off-limit areas like security, you're going to intercept. So when I point classified, I'm basically saying don't make them put a gun in your face.
Got it.
TV, which I never watch. World title belts. I was 4-time kickboxing world champion.
And what's this painting over here?
That's my brother.
Who else lives here? Is it just you?
No, I live here with my brother. I think you get the best version of yourself if you live with other competitive men. I don't have loser friends. I like sitting down with people and discussing how we can make money from the conflict in Ukraine. That's what I enjoy. I don't want to talk about TV.
What?
I like sitting down with people and discussing how we can make money from the conflict in Ukraine. That's what.
Why is that a good thing? What a scumbag. How we can make money from the conflict in Ukraine. Okay. I believe he's referring to, like, a lot of webcam models are Ukrainian. So I'm guessing that that's what that's referring to, is that he finds vulnerable women in Ukraine who need money. And because I remember seeing something about how there's a lot of Ukrainian women doing webcam modeling because there's not a whole lot of other opportunities. So, yeah. Talk about preying on vulnerable women, huh?
Well, I enjoy. I don't want to talk about TV.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Hi, by the way. Sorry to interrupt. I'm Matt.
Georgia.
Georgia, good to meet you. What are you up to, Georgia?
Working.
Working.
Okay.
This is,
The woman I'm trying to speak to, Georgiana Noghel, would also later be arrested with Tate in December.
Georgiana, 2 coffees, please.
Accused of assisting him in his human trafficking operation. Hey, how's it going? Hi. Hey, how are you? What are these guys up to?
Conquering the world, my friend.
Through what means?
I run Hustlers University, which is now currently the biggest online educational platform in the world. We've grown extremely fast. We have 110,000
Educational platform. Wow, what a word. Okay.
students inside of a year.
Hustlers University.
Platform in the world. We've grown extremely fast. We have 110,000 students inside of a year.
Okay, wow.
Hustlers University. Hustlers University. Hustlers University.
For $49 a month, Andrew Tate's online Hustlers University promises to teach his millions of followers the secrets of modern wealth creation, from crypto trading to dropshipping.
No big deal, just the biggest online school in history.
Is this a sharp sword or is it kind of a decorative sword?
I did a Tate speech about why I have this sword. A Tate speech is like my YouTube channel, Tate Speech.
Yeah.
And I talked about how the #1 problem with the world is that not enough men walk around their houses with swords.
Mm-hmm. That's up there for sure.
Because if more men walked around their houses with swords, so many of the world's issues could be fixed.
Like what?
You have to extrapolate it.
Okay.
For example, so the woman panics, she sees something on TV, the man comes home, she's like, oh, we gotta start wearing a mask, da-da-da. If the man walked around with a sword, and she's like, put a mask on, he'd be like, I'm brave, I don't need a mask, I'm a commander. Fuck you. It's just a symbol of empowerment.
That's the most cringe thing in the world. I mean, listen, swords are cool. So if you have a sword, that's awesome. But like, there's no problems going to be solved by having a sword in your hand. Like, I mean, the mask thing. I mean, that's just promoting COVID conspiracy. Like, whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, obviously, you don't need to wear masks now, but there was a big deal. You know, I have an uncle who passed away from it. I actually worked in COVID. You know, I had to work around people. I didn't have the luxury of, you know, like Andrew Tate, of not actually having to go outside. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I was like working at a bus company, man. I had to clean all the buses every single day. We had to disinfect all of them. It was a lot of work. It sucked. Having a sword isn't going to make anyone think you're more confident, unless you're like a LARPer or something. Like, I don't understand. I mean, what's the difference between a sword and like women having crystals? I'm like, oh, it's a symbol. The sword means courage. My topaz crystal means courage, fertility, and love. And it's like, okay, my sword means anti-masker, love, and courage. It's like, okay, cool, man. Awesome, bro. Whatever makes you feel good.
You got your sword, your wife starts talking, you're like, shut up. I decide what I do. Be quiet.
Okay.
Cook.
Andrew's unashamed,
Incredible.
misogynistic, and violent views so far seem to match his YouTube persona. But to find out how he's translated those into viral fame, I accept an invite onto the Tate Brothers podcast, Emergency Meeting, which is also a chance to get acquainted with his brother Tristan.
Okay.
Welcome to Emergency Meeting, episode 13. We have a special guest, Matt Shea, who is internationally renowned and respected. He's a folk singer, and he's going to sing us a song.
Andrew's invited his mate on our show without my consent. I'm just going to have to bite my tongue and listen to you guys talk most of this emergency meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to walk off.
Matt, can you introduce yourself? Tell them about your singing career. Tell them where you're from, etc.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a folk singer at all.
Okay, I would say this guy's a folk singer, because I love folk music, guys. I don't know if you know this. I don't. I was like, I've never heard of this guy before. I didn't think he was actually a folk singer. Turns out he just bamboozled Andrew Tate. So that's so sad for Andrew. I guess he thought he made a friend and he didn't.
What? No, sorry.
What?
Are you calling my brother a liar?
You lied to me.
case, yes.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen the clown that hides from gay people?
Have you seen him?
No, I haven't seen the clown that hides the gay
So you've never seen him?
No.
Strange.
Is he here somewhere?
Strange. Well, yeah, he's right here. I see him.
I see him.
All right, let's be nice to our vice friends. Let me be nice to him before he does a hit piece.
This is definitely a hit piece. I've warned my brother that this is a setup, and this is what everyone.
I don't care. I'm uninterested. I've clearly conquered the internet. I'm clearly unstoppable. I'm like the board.
You've invited the liberal news media to come.
They can all come. Just because I'm wearing a gun, I'm violent. Is that how it is? Just because I got knives all over the table and I'm a kickboxing world champion, I'm violent.
If you are wearing a gun and you have knives, that does make you a little bit violent.
It makes no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Makes me security aware.
I don't want to sing a song. Sing like you promised.
It's
It's
a
a
setup.
I won't kick Vice out of my house. I think.
A few more minutes, or we done with it?
No, you can sing now, or you're off the pod.
During an ad break, Andrew breaks character.
On 30-second break. Chat shit. Another 5 minutes, and we'll get you out of here. You can talk shit back. You can annoy us if you want.
Don't worry, no, I know. I'm just not very good at talking shit.
We've had a long career. We have to do our normal broadcasting.
Okay.
Kick him off the pod. Cool, man. Have fun, guys. Yeah.
Bro, this is going to be the worst documentary about us.
What they gonna say?
I don't know.
He has lots of cars and money. All the women.
So I guess this guy. How did Andrew Tate not fact check that? That's a little embarrassing for him. He just thought he was a folk. I guess at least his brother knew better. Interesting. How do you not know? That's the thing that kind of gets me.
Love him. He's sexist. Oh no! Please don't put that on the internet. Who cares? Right? Whatever.
Within minutes of being on their show, the Tate content machine snaps into action. Oh yeah. Wow. Already.
You promised to sing to me. If you think I won't kick Vice out of my house, you can sing now, or you're off the pod.
Tate Brothers embarrass Vice reporter.
Actually, I take that back. I want to make sure that my army is fighting, ethically and following the
18,000 likes, 246 comments, 66 reshares. Oh, I accidentally liked it.
If you had to go to war, would you call your friends?
Let's see what people are saying. Tate win, as always. I'm impressed how easily he runs over weak men.
It's interesting because I make content, obviously, and I've been talking about Andrew Tate. It's a popular topic and whatnot. But what's the most interesting is I started doing more shorts content, which was like plugging my main videos. And I will tell you one thing, man. I guess Andrew Tate fans, I don't know, maybe they don't have the what do I want to say? The attention span to talk about to do longer form content. But the shorts, they are all over it, brother. It's crazy. It's very interesting. They are all over the shorts, so.
Men's arguments. It isn't Tate posting all these videos, so who are all these people? Tate Brothers Embarrassed Vice Reporter was posted by a fan account that has 58,000 followers and 3.9 million likes, and is just posting loads of videos every single day. Right in the description of his account, it says, looking to level up your life, start here.
Yeah, those are the people that are looking to make some money off Andrew Tate. How do you like that? They get some views on TikTok. Maybe they monetize that as well. Yeah, they get to recruit people for Hustlers University and make more money. It's crazy.
It's a sign-up link to the Hustlers University. Another account. And again, a link to the Hustlers University. He's got a clever formula here. It turns out a big part of Hustlers University is an affiliate marketing scheme where boys as young as 13 are instructed to share controversial videos of Andrew with links to the Hustlers University underneath. If someone signs up through your link...
It's interesting. Does he actually vet the ages of the people? Because I feel like that, you know, that could be... I mean, I would consider that some kind of child labor issue, right? Like if you have a bunch of young kids trying to make money off of Hustlers U, a bunch of kids that are trying to capitalize off of it. I mean, usually we have things against, you know, child labor. Oh, damn, I lost.
You get 48% of their subscription fee.
Wow.
By financially incentivizing
how much?
Someone signs up through your link, you get 48% of their subscription fee.
Hey, maybe I'm... I mean, is Andrew Tate really that bad, dude? Oh my goodness. Is he really that bad of a guy now that we're kind of thinking about it? I mean, he does a lot of good things, you know? If you really think about it a little bit, he's a really good guy, you know?
By financially incentivizing 110,000 students to share his content online, Andrew has essentially built an army to make him rich and famous in a very short space of time. And he's tactically avoiding the impact of social media bans because it isn't Andrew himself posting.
You know what's interesting though? Like when he was talking about, this is another defense run for people. When he was talking about his webcam business, one of the things he would do to a lot of the girls is that he would get his money through Bitcoin and then he wouldn't pay taxes on it. And, you know, which is just illegal. That's not tax avoidance laws. That's just flat out illegal. And a lot of people defending that. And he would tell the girls that like, oh, I'll give you like 30% or something or less than, you know, the normal amount. And part of the reason was because I have to pay taxes, but then he wouldn't pay it. So I wonder if he's not paying taxes here. And I wonder if he's not paying taxes here and that he's telling the people that like, they get 40% of the subscription fee like after the taxes, though. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's a way he's manipulating his fans.
It's his legion of fans.
All I'm doing is saying that the shit that everyone thinks isn't allowed to say.
That's
so
not true.
That's the reason I'm all big on the internet.
I'm starting to wonder whether he...
Nah, he just is very annoying and like very obnoxious and loud, and he appeals to like little kids. Like if you put all Andrew Tate followers in a room, like it would be like a fucking pedophile's favorite dream. Like it would be like a wet dream for pedophiles because there would be a bunch of like little boys that like are loving Andrew Tate. I mean, that's the reality, man. He just says incredibly provocative stuff. Like he doesn't say anything of particular intelligence. He was literally going on about how you should carry swords because it would solve all the problems in the world. I mean, that's cool. But like nerds who play fucking video games say the same shit, you know? It's like, what are you talking about?
He's just a living meme.
You're a loser because your mentality is loserish.
Whoa.
Some kind of viral marketing campaign to swindle money from confused young men.
You never had the life I had, ever.
Or if he really believes what he says.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Matrix.
Andrew
Dude.
first appeared on our screens as a reality TV star.
It's so interesting that he's so into the Matrix. Like, do you really think that why would the Matrix be speaking truth to you? It's a movie. Wouldn't that be another part of the Matrix? The actual movie, The Matrix, to misrepresent? Holy fuck, we're getting too meta here.
Never been in a situation in my life so far in my 21 years.
Looks like a little twink here. Okay, good for you,
I
Andrew.
really want something I didn't get it.
He had found an arena where
I mean, it makes sense as to why he hates women if he's gay. And there's nothing wrong with gay. I'm just saying he looks very, you know, feminine there.
Social personalities thrive.
I have to manipulate a lot of people to win.
But something happened when Andrew was on Big Brother, one of the biggest reality TV shows of all time.
This is Big Brother.
This is
Due
crazy.
to events in the outside world, Andrew has had to leave the Big Brother house.
He was reportedly removed from the program when a video surfaced of him slapping his ex-girlfriend and then beating her with a belt.
Yeah, we saw that, and you know, the girl came out and said it was consensual afterwards. It is interesting though, because again, we watched him talk about the one woman where he like strangled her and slept with her, and like, you know, she was upset afterwards and everything. And she even tried to say like, yeah, I didn't like that, and he was like, oh, I just choked you. You didn't pass out. Who cares? You know, he downplayed it. And so one of the things he said to her is that it turned him on when she wasn't into him, basically. And it's like, wow, like that's really weird. Like then I know people be like, well, that's kink. No, it's not actually. I just want you to understand something. Like I have a consensual non-consent kink. But the second that the actual consent is gone, because it's consensual non-consent, the second that the consent is gone, it's over. I'm no longer turned on. Like, you know, if I'm with my wife and we're doing something because we both like it, and she's like, she'll, you know, tap out or something, we're done, because it's no longer consensual. It's a fantasy. It's not real. He unironically gets off to this kind of stuff. It's a very different thing. And it's like that by itself maybe isn't super bad, but when you compile them with all the other things that have been going on, like, yeah, you start to build a picture about what's going on, you know? A good guy, especially, again, like, I'm really focused on the way that he runs his webcam business and how he compares it to, like, you know, a pimp dealing with his prostitutes. It's such a horrible, abusive situation. I feel like people don't understand this. I really don't.
I didn't say the word listen. Did I say listen? Did I say listen? No. Did I say it?
Public outrage simmered down after Andrew released a video of his ex claiming...
And honestly, I'm starting to believe that. I don't know. You know, I don't know. And listen, she came out and said what she said, that it was all like a joke or whatever, or a game. And it might have been just a plug to try to make his character more popular for Big Brother. But part of me feels like, you know, maybe she was afraid and decided to walk it back or something. But that's just like speculation. Like, don't take too much. You know, take that with a grain of salt.
It was all part of a so-called kinky game.
It was just pure game. It's just what we used to do.
But what the public didn't know, and what we can now reveal, is that around the time that Andrew was playing Truth or Dare in the Big Brother pool, the UK police had informed the production company that he was under investigation for 2 incidents involving other women.
Yep.
One of rape, and a further of physical assault. In May 2021, Tate made reference to his arrest in an appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
I was like, who are you? They're like, you're under arrest for a suspicion of assault of this dumb hoe. And I'm like, wait, is it dumb hoe? They didn't, but I'm going to protect her anonymity because I'm a nice guy. Dumb hoe.
During the same period, the Tate brothers were recruiting women for a webcam sex business and creating the first of their many online courses teaching other men how to do the same.
I am her everything. It doesn't matter if I fuck someone else, because I'm her everything. She has nowhere else to go.
It was called the Tate PhD, or Pimping Hose degree.
She was a fucking hoe, and I spotted it instantly because she didn't humble herself when she was supposed to. And I'm glad I didn't waste any more time on her, because she's never going to be doing like my other girls do, living in my house, letting me fuck other women, remaining loyal, and fucking bringing me coffees and doing as I say.
Andrew has closed down the Pimping Hose degree to focus on the Hustlers University.
So weird, bro. That by itself is like a red flag. It's weird. Listen, I used to be poly and everything, so like I get it. It's cool to have multiple girlfriends and stuff, and it feels like a big man shit. But like at the end of the day, you know, at least the way I feel you should run it, something like that, is that you don't disrespect these women. They don't exist for you know, your satisfaction. Like, you know, it's a lot of work to like do the best you can to actually treat more than one woman well at the same time. It's a lot of emotional energy. It's why I don't recommend it. It can be difficult. And just even that, like, it's like just the view he has on women. I get it. He has a lot of money. He wants a woman to do this, that, and the other thing. But there's still a lack of respect in the way that he talks about these women. You know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, you know, our relationship contract, I make the money, so like I expect them to do this, that, and the other thing. It's like, okay, that's cool. I respect that. I get it. But the way that he talks about it is just like so scummy and so like gross that it comes off as so much worse than that. He just speaks with such disrespect. And just like as a man, I find that to be fucking pathetic, you know?
Luke, your screen's compromised, yeah? So keep it super fucking vanilla.
But with a historic rape allegation in the UK, and the Romanian police now looking into him for rape and human trafficking, I want to find out more about his methods of recruiting women.
Did you at one point say that the girls who started as your girlfriends and then worked for the webcam industry, 100% of the profit goes to you?
I think in a lot of households in the world today, the man is in charge of the investments. I think that's not an uncommon thing. Tell me a view I have that you think is genuinely insulting or destructive to society. I'd like to hear it.
You prefer younger women who are 18 or 19 because you can leave an imprint on them?
No, when I say leave an imprint, I mean that. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that like if I get her, I can brainwash her. I'm not trying to say that. If you meet a girl who's 22 and you're her second boyfriend, she's probably like a nicer person. Less jaded, less upset, less suspicious.
So you like to be in a position of power?
It's not being in a position of power. It's about, I enjoy.
Well, it is being in a position of power for sure. Maybe he doesn't mean it in a predatory way, but like if one of the reasons that you like an 18 or a 19-year-old girl as an older man is to imprint on them, I mean, that's gross. It's one thing to be like, yeah, I'm attracted to younger girls. Like, oh, I'm 35 and I like 19-year-olds. Like, whatever. Still think it's a little weird. What do you really have in common? But for you to like, oh, I want to imprint on them. It doesn't matter. There's no context you could provide to that makes that any better. Like, that's a weird thing to say. It's one thing to be like, yeah, like younger girls, they're just hotter. Fine. If that's your preference, that's fine. To imprint on them, that's weird. That comes off as like red flag, like potentially predatory, no? Like, come on. It's holy fuck.
Way to show her amazing things. You're trying to attach things to the situation which aren't true.
5 years ago, you said rape is a terrible thing.
I think I don't think he's trying to attach anything, to be honest with you. I think that Andrew Tate said these things without like actually considering why he like thinks them. And then he hasn't had, like, he doesn't realize he self-reported. That's what I really think happened.
But if you put yourself in a position to be raped, then you should bear some responsibility for that.
Okay, so first, we agree that rape is a terrible thing. The point I'm trying to make is the best way to prevent yourself from being raped is to have a degree of personal responsibility and not put yourself in positions to be raped, as opposed.
I think that we're at like a point now where Tate has gotten like a lot of time to restructure what he said like previously and re-say it in a way that doesn't come off as bad. Because I honestly, I frankly don't know if I believe that he was trying to be as nuanced as he's saying here about these topics initially. I think that he was trying to say like very provocative, intense things. Or I think that he like thinks that there is a level of responsibility for the woman. And I understand like what he's saying now. It's like, yeah, like it's, I think Ben Shapiro said it like really well when he was talking about how like if a woman walked through a high crime area with $100 over her head, or if a man did it, anybody, and they got robbed, it's 100% everybody else's fault. But you probably shouldn't have been walking through the high crime area with $100 over your head. That makes sense. I just think that this is a backpedal to that point where originally I don't think that Andrew Tate has any particular value. I think that there is a lot of like things that he's blaming women. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think it's more of like he said something and I was like, oh, how can we rationalize this and make it seem more reasonable? I don't think that there's any like nuance to what he's saying, to be honest with you.
Opposed to standing there saying that rape shouldn't happen because, or men, raise our boys better. You know what else shouldn't happen? Robbery. I want the freedom to walk down the road with $1 million in cash.
Is it fair to compare the desire to walk around with £1 million in cash to someone wanting to just walk around their own city at night?
Well, female beauty is extremely valuable.
Okay.
Of course, female beauty is extremely valuable in the eyes of men who seek to exploit it.
I wonder why there are so many jump cuts, though, because there's plenty of things to criticize Andrew Tate for. I don't think that you necessarily need a bunch of jump cuts for it, but okay.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them.
What does this say?
I fuck them so they listen to me.
Beautiful women work for me and make millions
So I can
of
get
dollars. They obey me because they love me. They can clean my house and make me coffee and get them naked. That's how I make over $300,000 a month. I don't want to get studio. It's no secret.
Not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do.
Bond girl.
Have you heard the term lover boy before?
The lover boy method?
Yeah, romantically involving yourself with a woman and then making money off of her in some sort of sex-adjacent industry.
Firstly, I would call the webcam industry far closer to psychology than sex. The webcam industry has prevented more male suicide than any group of therapists, any action group, any charity ever would. Right?
I just disagree. I've seen Andrew Tate talk about how porn is bad for men, and I think that it is. I think that it's not a good relationship to have with it. In general, I think it, like a lot of people look at it young. I think, you know, whatever, people want to look at it. Like I obviously look at it too. But like looking at that, especially as a developing child, teaches you the wrong thing about sex for men and women. Teaches men to be overly aggressive. Teaches women to, I think, take things that they shouldn't. You know, I don't think that it has helped that many people. Now, I know what his argument is. His argument's more of like, yeah, there's been so many different guys who've come on here and they've been so like depressed. And I like, you know, these girls help them because they feel better about it. And it's like, you know, listen, maybe there's a level of truth to that. But if they weren't so addicted to porn, maybe, and let me just be explicitly clear, you know, when there's a problem going on in a relationship, it's a two-way street. So I'm not blaming the men exclusively in the relationship. But if you have an issue going on in your life, you know, there is a level of accountability and responsibility for the man also doing the bad thing in the relationship, you know? And it's like if you feel the need to go and express yourself to like a prostitute on the internet or like a webcam model, you know, maybe that time, energy, effort, and money would be better spent on your family and trying to build that. And like even using those services in the first place distances yourself from your family. As a man, and as a woman too, but I'm a man, you shouldn't be creating any type of relationship with another woman. As a straight man, at least. Not like an emotional relationship. And unless it's your mother or your sister. And you're going to have these men are creating emotional relationships with these webcam models, and that's just restricting your time, energy, and effort, and taking it away from your spouse, which is where it's supposed to go. So,
right. Is that true? How can you measure that?
Well, it's not about measuring. It's about my personal experience.
One of the concerns that people have about that
Okay, no, first,
method is that
let me correct you, because
it is about measuring. Like, it's probably causing more harm than good. Like, oh, some of the guys, they confide in these women. Yeah, and you want to know what? Those guys may not be in that situation at all if they weren't confiding in that woman over their wife.
Is that it's similar to, or people might consider that a form of grooming?
Okay, so I'm a professional, so I have to change what you just said. I have to at least challenge you on it. Nobody's concerned about anything that happened 10 years ago when a bunch of girls got rich. There's not a single female complaining.
Do you think there's not a single female complaining?
Have you seen one? Tell me.
Andrew says no woman has complained about him personally. He won't let us speak to the women who work for him, so for now it's difficult to verify this claim. But I have spoken to many women who complain about the effect Andrew's rhetoric is having on their lives. To protect them from harassment.
Well, I mean, like, he even admitted to himself, like, they showed part of it where he's talking to Fresh and Fit about the one girl who was basically complaining about them because she wanted to get, like, her money or whatever. So there are women who complain, for sure.
I've agreed not to name them.
My ex-boyfriend was radicalized by Andrew Tate.
Radicalized.
To the point of starting to release revenge porn unless I took back what I said on social media against his sexist, misogynistic views.
It's like a virus, the things that he's spreading. The scariest thing is, I have no idea if the next guy I meet could be an Andrew Tate fan.
As a teacher, it's definitely worrisome. There are boys who look up to him, especially those that...
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that the biggest reason that Andrew Tate was banned off of, like, Twitch and all these other platforms is because he was going, well, like, off YouTube and whatnot, is because he went on Twitch with Aiden Ross so much that, like, young boys started to say, like, really, like, edgy, misogynistic shit in their classrooms. And that was, like, the first really big red flag was that was happening. I really would not doubt that that was the biggest reason why all this was going down. And so, like, once, especially kids get involved, that's what happens. That's what the message that they're getting from Andrew Tate. There's no positive message that they're getting.
Maybe vulnerable, and they're sort of going to go into the real world, carrying those violent views with them.
I'm 14. The boys at school my age think that it's okay to say horrible things like women are men property and they get to do what they want with them. It makes me really disappointed in my generation.
Andrew's views represent a new era in modern misogyny,
Start talking to some bitches, saying me and my man were fucking.
where you can now not only talk openly about subjugating and objectifying women, but doing so actually garners millions of committed fans.
They don't believe the level that you can operate at when you're actually a G.
The most hardcore of them have traveled here to Romania to join the War Room.
The War Room is a fraternity. We're a brotherhood which is designed to inspire the best from our brothers. They have to have the mentality and the pedigree to survive. There's tests, and if you do them, you can stay inside.
At the top of Andrew's fraternity is a small group of wealthy and powerful men who all stand to gain significantly from the expansion of his empire. This inner circle is not happy that I'm here. After our testy exchange this morning, Andrew invites me to watch him train.
Have you ever boxed before?
No. But it turns out he's planning on teaching me a lesson.
Who's got spare gloves?
Oh.
There you go.
I appear to have unintentionally walked into a situation where Andrew Tate is going to train me how to box.
Beat him up.
Punch me. Punch me. Knock out. Oh, look, you're bleeding already. It's only round one. We've only warmed up a few more, bro. We've got 10 more rounds.
No fucking way.
I meet and get punched in the face by the inner circle of the War Room. In the world Andrew is creating, not only are women to be subjugated,
Sorry, that almost felt like I got knocked out.
but men defined by their capacity to inflict violence.
Okay. Tap out.
You stopped. You were like, all right, pause, time out. Like, if that were having a street fight, would someone stop? No, so that's your reaction. I need
Yeah, true. That wouldn't happen. Good thing they're not in a street fight. I mean, it's very clear that they just brought this guy over to beat the shit out of him. Which, like, I guess he's there to expose them, so I suppose that's why they're doing it. But, they're not in an actual street fight, so, that's probably why they're doing that. Probably why he wanted them to stop.
to fight back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, you.
The War Room is a network. We have 10 meetings a year. The next one's going to be in the mountains of Transylvania. You could do it, but I don't know, my friend, if you're prepared.
We've left Bucharest and we're driving into the Carpathian Mountains to meet Andrew and his inner circle for the War Room, which is going to involve something called the test.
I've made it into Andrew Tate's War Room, where 100 of his biggest fans have flown in from all across the world, each paying $5,000 to have their manhood tested by the one they refer to as Commander. None of us know what he has in store.
I welcome you all to the test.
This is so gay. Listen, I mean, like, I think that, like, UFC shit's awesome. Like, I'm not, like, I think that's really great. But to pay $5,000 for a guy to test your strength. It's just kind of gay. I don't know, man. Okay, that's interesting.
There is a cage fighting event, and every single one of you has been paired against a professional fighter. You will fight in the cage on national television.
This just seems like Big Brother. That's all it seems like. It's just like a Big Brother clone. It's interesting. Okay.
And it's a real fight. There are two paths you can go down. You can agree to fight, or you can decide that it's not for you. You have 1 hour to think and make a decision.
That's going to be a hard no from me. Maybe I'll do a yes, just to learn a little bit more of what happens, and then definitely pull out at some point.
Does anyone have any questions to ask me? There's no training before this fight. If you've been walking through life too lazy to fucking train, is that your problem or my problem?
I couldn't help overhearing some disagreement within the war room.
If you want to start, you wink, wink. What the hell are you doing? What's this?
It's gonna be fine, bro. We have an ambulance, we have medics. No one fucking knocked out. Don't worry about it.
At the center of it all was Andrew's right-hand man, Iggy Semmelweis.
Here I will share with you my
What?
secrets.
What is happening? Wow, this is like the last season of Game of Thrones quality. This is incredible. I love this.
He's the self-proclaimed...
Man, maybe things would have been different if Andrew Tate just made his own reality TV show. The cringe would have been awesome.
Greatest hypnotist in the world.
You will learn the power of hypnosis.
Wow.
And seemed to have an agenda that expanded beyond the war room itself into something larger and darker.
He has a hypnotist as his right-hand man? Is that real? Wow. Does he believe in magic, or is it just like he respects the guy for manipulating people into thinking he can actually do something? Interesting.
Sons will marry their daughters. Your daughters will marry their sons.
What the
you will
fuck?
create legacies. Enjoying those juicy steaks, that finer scotch, those smoother cigars.
He refused to speak to us, but it's clear that he has a big role to play in whatever the war room's real agenda is.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Wow.
Welcome to the test.
That's cool.
Now is decision time. You are getting in the cage to fight a professional fighter who is trained to hurt you. Anyone who is fighting...
Okay, so it's a professional fighter? Bro, that's terrifying. Okay.
Please stand up. Anyone who is not fighting, you can stay seated, and we will begin the other program.
Just like that, a third of the room decides to get beaten up for Andrew Tate.
What happens to the people who said no?
They're doing something slightly different, describing the reasons they didn't do it, how that affects their life as a whole, whether they're gonna make any changes in the future to be more ready for opportunities. That's where honor comes from, right? From victory.
One of the men who said no agrees to speak to us as long as we hide his face.
Why did you say no?
I have been in the ring before, but just sparring. But I was like, fuck, professionals and Russians, like they guys are serious. I was just too scared. So then afterwards, I felt bad about myself, and I was angry at
Why the fuck would you want to fight like a professional fighter like that? They beat the fuck out of you. That's crazy. Holy shit.
myself. Because he came here to be tested.
Andrew Tate has obviously said a lot of kind of controversial things online. Yeah. What do you think about that?
A lot of things are very controversial, but I think the bottom of his message is a very, very positive one. Because if I'm not tough on myself, nobody else will be. Nobody.
If he did all this like self-improvement shit and didn't do the hating women stuff, he'd be totally fine. But it overshadows everything else. So like it's not worth it. Like it gets overshadowed, like horrible dog shit messages. Like I get the fundamental idea of like showing up prepared. You should be prepared for this fight. Like, you know, whatever. That's fun. But, you know, it's like Dragon Ball Z shit. But like the other shit, the webcam business, like just the dishonesty. They're like talking about how porn is bad, but then like running a porn business, like that's the bad stuff. Like, you know, the rape. It's not good. I don't know if you guys know that, but that kind of stuff's bad. You know.
Nobody really cares about me if I don't care about me, right? That's what I learned from Andrew Tate.
People who decided this morning and people who decided at a later date here.
We have a chaperone following us. We've been told that we're not allowed to talk to anyone. What about in passing, asking people like, what single question?
Let me run this by Tate before we film. No other comment.
Okay, all right. Would you go for that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Our chaperone vets who we speak to and tries to heavily control our questions.
What do you do?
Show that you're not some sort of growing extremist for this.
Why did you join the war?
I don't want to be fucking stagnant. I need to grow. It's just a fundamental shift in my mindset. What I think could be bad is always good. Before the war room, I used to think, why is this happening to me?
Why do people feel like they need to go this far? I mean, honestly, like, you know, you could go get a job, go get like a trade, go like gravitate towards a job that'll pay you really well. Like, what is really going to be happening through here that's going to be giving you like that much positivity? Like, why not get like a job? Like go do that instead of going to like a fucking liberal arts school. Go get like go do a profession. Seems like a much more productive usage of time.
Me now, what is this trying to like teach me?
About Andrew Tate specifically and the things he says online, the things that get him negative publicity. What do you think about those things?
I think he's speaking the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interviewing under the chaperone's supervision is proving restrictive.
Yeah?
No alpha craziness. He's an animal, this one.
So we can't speak to anyone?
Okay.
Who is this mysterious chaperone anyway?
Hey, man.
Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, man.
I was wondering if we could have a little chat. Yeah?
Suits me, man. Brought over from Dubai.
Like most war room leaders, he has a sports car.
Do you want to do the interview in here?
Yeah, I don't see why not, man.
And like most people with a sports car, he's keen to show it off.
Hey, I mean, what else? What other reason you have a sports car? Let's be honest.
So, what do they call you?
In these circles, sartorial or the sartorial shooter. I'm one of the guys who manages organizational risk and security for the war room. So anyone with any criminal activity, maybe they are showing signs of being racist or sexist or any of these sorts of things, they're out straight away. We will not tolerate that.
Okay, sure.
And so how do you reconcile that with some of the things that Andrew, for example, says online?
Any claims of misogyny or the fact that he's spreading hateful words, that's not the reality of who he is, and that's not what the war room stands for, and that's not what he stands for.
Sure.
There are many clips of him out there saying, I'm not a misogynist, I provide for my women, I would stand up for my women in a violent situation.
What?
Well, that doesn't mean that you can't be misogynistic, right? Like, it doesn't mean that he hates women necessarily, but the way that like him mocking women losing their ability to go to university, saying that if they're so strong, they should go fight for themselves. That's just like, that goes against what it means to be a man, to protect people who need protecting. If you have like a terrorist organization removing, and I understand it's another country, so if you're like, yeah, there's nothing we can really do about it, that's fine. But you have women having their human rights taken away, their right to be treated equally with respect, to go to, school to better themselves. They're having that stripped away from them. And then his response is like, LOL, like, do fight yourself if you're so strong. That's not what it means to be a man. That shows a fundamental disrespect, treating women like they're not equal. Equal. And I understand, like, we're not, and nobody's like equal, but we need to value masculinity and femininity equally. They both provide very important things. Like, yeah, men generally protect and women generally create life. That's why we protect women, right? Very important part of the process. So, like, yeah, there's definitely an issue with the way that he talks about shit like this.
What do you think his detractors would say about, for example, what you just said, the phrase "my woman"? Do you think that they would consider that to be misogynist?
The phrase "my woman," for me, ties into the very traditional values that we have.
Andrew's well known for talking a lot about his multiple girlfriends. How does that tie into this idea of a traditional relationship?
Men at certain levels can provide for multiple women. And even we can go back 100 years ago, kings, wealthy men, they would support multiple families. How is that a bad thing? It was only very recently that men and women have been competing in pretty much in masculine realms, in work, in career. Not that long.
Yeah, because like obviously women wanted to be able to make their own money because they were tired of potentially being abused by men. Not all women would have that problem, but they wanted to be able to get freedoms because there were some men that would treat them like shit. And so women wanted to be able to provide for themselves so they wouldn't be forced in that power dynamic. And if you choose it, that's totally fine, but that's why. It's not a bad thing for women to have the choice to do it. Now, if you want to say like, hey, it's difficult to have like a one income household nowadays, for sure. But that's a conversation about like the lack of equality of like income equality. That's a bigger issue than anything else. Because you'd see like there's no reason for big businesses to be systematically fucking us and not paying their fair share in taxes, leeching resources, making risky investments and getting it all paid off. There's no reason that shit should be happening. That's a different issue though.
Long ago, and indeed in many cultures around the world, women still have the traditional gender norms. And
yeah, and those countries are not, I'm not trying to be like an elitist, but those countries are poor and abusive and shit. I'm not trying to be fucking rude, but like clearly valuing women's perspectives leads to a better society if every Western country is richer and more powerful than all the other countries. Sorry, but
we believe in the war, and that's what leads to happiness.
Rather than a career or, like you have, your own agency in the world to pursue your own goals.
The women who I know who are most fulfilled in life are not trying to do the things that traditionally men used to do.
What about...
Yeah, the women that you know and the women I know are very fulfilled by those things. Everybody's different, right? That's the whole point. Like, of course, you're going to associate yourself with women who like prefer traditional relationships, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But then, like, I don't, right? I associate with women that want to have different goals. They want to better themselves in different ways. Neither of those things are better than the other. They are just things that exist. That's like the whole point, right? So
a situation where this has just popped into my head, where I want my girlfriend, who I love, to be a kept woman, but she doesn't. She wants to pursue a career or something like that.
Then find a different woman. Very simple.
The core belief drives.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, again, if you want to do that, that's a consensual thing. Do your thing. Find a different woman if you want a woman that, or you know, if you want to be with somebody that wants to, if you want to be somebody that's like the sole provider in the household, like you can find that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's women who will want to do that relationship as long as it's consensual. But that doesn't mean that we should not allow other women to do that. Do whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's legal, obviously. But
driving the war room, and what men here are seeking is a misogynist fantasy of a time when they were kings and women were subjugated. It's at the heart of what Andrew Tate is selling. Just look at the tweets of Iggy Semmelweis, his second in command. My webcam girl is home 100% of the time, has no time nor interest in going out. She sleeps, cooks, cleans, does her shows, gives me all the money, gets railed by me and our girlfriends, then smiles, thanks me, and goes and does it again tomorrow.
That sounds really, that's like what he said.
All the money.
Oh, that's what he was saying. Wait, they give her, wait, he gets all the money from these women? They don't even have their own money? That's like really fucking weird. Well, that's gross. Okay. That's I mean, that's abuse. Like, there's no other way to say that. That's fucking crazy. Okay.
To the war room.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
Now, it's quite possible this next story has passed some of you by, but you would be in a minority.
As the war room members and I are bussed to the fight location, the world begins to talk about Andrew Tate with a new intensity.
He is a 35-year-old influencer who's been accused of spreading rape
openly
culture.
condones and celebrates violence against women.
Hitting women. Kids are acting like the things that he said.
Yeah, for sure. Like, again, I always quote this, but he praises historical conquerors like Genghis Khan. That's a big red flag. That was as a conqueror because he had a lot of women. He raped women. He forced women to be with him. These are big red flags. If one of the people that you look up to is somebody who historically raped people, like, and then you praise their conquering and their ability to get women, you don't have good intentions. I mean, I don't know how, because people are like, where's this coming from? It's like, what do you mean? This is what he said. He praises this person. Like, big red flag there. Buddy.
It's like revolutionary.
11-year-old boys, they love
Please
Andrew
stop
Tate.
looking up to Andrew Tate. He is a bad guy.
True.
With the PR crisis going on, Andrew's team are eager for some good press, so they send an extra friendly chaperone to sell me on the benefits of the war room experience.
I'm Alpha Wolf.
Okay.
My role is to be Alpha Wolf.
Okay, fair enough.
Life is all about how you deal with the pain and how you move forward. You're going to learn a lot about yourself as a man, so take it, make the best out of it, and grow as a man and be tough.
All of the men in this room seem to be taking this incredibly seriously.
What's your goal for the fight?
Of course I'm going to try to win.
I see a lot of contenders right there who had the guts to come right here in the cage. If any one of them win one fight, is going to win all their money, all their girls.
This is the culmination of Andrew Tate's pressure cooker of male insecurity.
You're a fucking broke. You are poor. I'm the only guy on this fucking platform flying around in private jets with 20.
You know, it's interesting because, you know, again, like I was saying before, there's nothing wrong with just trying to be, well, I didn't say this specifically, but I was talking before, like, go get a good job, like try to be, like do like a trade or something, make decent money. I guess I didn't think about how these guys aren't just trying to be successful. They're trying to be rich, right? You don't need to be rich and famous. Now, I know Andrew Tate will gaslight you and say like, well, that's you settling. It's not. There's nothing wrong with being a good person that does the best for themselves. Go be a fucking welder. Be a welder, be an electrician, make like $50 an hour. You know, have the money to raise, you know, your kids and take care of your wife and, you know, live however you want, have the money to do whatever you want with your hobby. That's practical. That's realistic. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, and a lot of times people who become rich end up selling their souls in some capacity anyway. Look at Andrew Tate. He's selling women in the webcam business, which is something that he even says is a bad thing when he says that porn is bad. I mean, this isn't a good guy. Even if you don't think that he's a rapist, like, keep in mind that this is not a good person. He's not advocating for that. And what happened is that there's so many people that want to engage in get rich quick schemes. That's what they want, that they gravitate towards Andrew Tate. They're not willing to put in the work or the hard effort. They just want they want to make as much money as they can without doing any real work. And they play this game where it's like, no, we're doing like real work, but they're not. They're just not. They just want to get rich quick.
7 cars, living this lifestyle. Most of you are not too stupid to become rich.
Are you ready? Round 1.
But while they come forward to gratefully take the beatings they've paid thousands of dollars for,
you're here to lose a little bit of blood.
Andrew Tate's future on social media is hanging in the balance, and the public backlash is spreading. I'm desperate to ask him about all of this, but first I have to get through this ridiculous situation that I found myself in.
All right, let's go.
Give it up for man.
Oh, he's gonna do it?
Did I say it right?
Very excited for it. Now, as soon as the bell goes, Matt has passed the
Whatever's going on behind the scenes, watching me get chased around puts a smile on Andrew's face.
Texas gets stripped to the ground. And there's going to be a ground and pound finish. That is it. A referee calls it. Hold on, man. He was unable to defend himself. I hated these guys when they turned up. I almost punched Matt myself when he was in my house. You know what? He's officially won me over. I can't believe he actually got in there.
Okay.
Those who went all in on their fight came out badly. One man was knocked out and taken away on a stretcher.
Jesus.
The inner circle had put these men through collective hardship and recreated them in Andrew Tate's image. Fighters.
Come here, guys. Go up to the front. He broke his hand on your head. And you're fine. So you win.
But they had also joined a movement that was widely accused of normalizing sexism and rape culture.
Like that whole like in the arena thing, I mean, that doesn't, I don't really care. If you're that dumb to want to go do something like that, would be my guess. It's all the fucking like other shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really care about the machismo shit. I don't care about the like, yeah, let's all fight, be ready to fight. Like, how, you know, whatever. That part doesn't matter. Like, if you want to like have that as your moral center, like I personally don't, but that's totally fine as long as it makes you a better person. But part of that moral center is treating women as if they're objects or that they exist for your servitude. That's the wrong part about it. Like, if they did all this crazy shit, but they didn't have this disrespect to women, it would be fine. That's the issue.
While the men who chose to fight are paraded in front of the crowd, Andrew's team shamed those who refused.
The shame pole. Hold on to it. Don't let it go.
So anyone who fought, you can put your hand up, how the experience was, how it's going to change your life, and if you have anything to say to the people who didn't fight.
I don't think I have any word of advice for the people that didn't do it, except that you should have probably.
He went to check on me. I'm thinking, oh, I will train because I feel like I would, right? So
yeah,
that's what I want to do.
Right now, I have new mountains to climb, and I'd love to get back here a year from now and go to the gym.
This guy paid $5,000 to go there, plus whatever airfare, just to not fight, and now he's going to pay for it again and come back again. Okay.
Of the guy who beat the shit out of me.
Didn't it feel like a movie the last few days? I feel like that's a great metaphor for life. You know, we shouldn't be slaves, we shouldn't be working 9-to-5 jobs. We should actually make our lives into, I guess, a movie.
I want to be known as one of the best fathers in the war room. I can't look at my sons and tell them to suck it up, Buttercup, if I don't say yes to this.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether or not they fought, all the men here paid $5,000 to the only real winner in this performance, Andrew Tate.
For the people who want to stay and relax, there's some chicks, don't know where they're from. Yeah, let's have fun. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Oh, I guess they get to fuck the girls.
We're told not to film the celebrations that conclude the evening, and it's not clear exactly what goes on. But once outside the lobby, we could clearly see a room containing naked women being photographed.
Oh.
With Andrew's team increasingly conscious of negative publicity, tonight could be the last chance to interview him. Do you consider the possibility that some of the things that you've said, which have been viewed 11 billion times, may lead to an attitude towards women that could be harmful?
I accept that across all of that viewership, I have perhaps, possibly, maybe said one thing, or maybe two, that has upset a large range of people.
Wouldn't it make sense to just apologize for some of the things you said, acknowledge that they have caused harm, and say that you won't say those things again?
No, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to apologize for the edits of other people. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstandings of other people. There's a whole bunch of clips.
So, like, listen, again, I understand the concept of, like, clip culture, blah, 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 blah. The problem is that he actively advocates for these things, and there's something to be said about the responsibility of content creators, like, for the word, not just the words that they say, but the way that they're interpreted. You know, you're not some regular person anymore. So if a lot of people, most people, are interpreting Andrew Tate's message as, like, you know, harmful, or in a way that's, like, you know, disrespectful to women, if he isn't actually disrespectful to women, he should be saying, like, no, this isn't how I want it to be interpreted, and I'm going to start, like, being more careful about what I say. But he doesn't want to do that. That's really what it boils down to.
Clips people are making which make me look very bad. That's not good for my life. That's not good for business.
The clips.
Yes, it is. That's you. Everybody who puts those clips out there are people. It's always like a meme edit that's like makes you look cool. Like, it's intentional from your people.
Portray you in a negative light, also help the algorithm to make you become more famous and more viral.
I'm not an expert on algorithms for social media platforms. I do not have most of them installed on my phone. I cannot control what a 15-year-old Singaporean decides to do when he chops me up and calls me names. I can't control that. And
but they're not calling him names. They're saying that he's fucking based. That's the problem.
I wouldn't try to.
There has been a lot of bad press about you. That's made some nervousness within members of the war, and why is that?
Well, obviously, when people are going to continue to lie and continue to do very, very shallow
very, very fictitious investigations, people are going to lose faith in you. The media has lost all credibility because you do not try and portray the truth anymore.
So the media hasn't lost all credibility. Let's be real here. But the media has lost some credibility. Realistically speaking, it doesn't matter. It's both sides of the aisle. We'll put things out of context just to try to sensationalize shit going on and to try and rile up tensions from people. That's just like a fact of the matter. That's just what's happening. And it causes people to lose a lot of credibility, you know? Even if the mainstream media, which it is more, it's more reputable than like outside news sources. They've done enough sensationalizing of the media and trying to rile up tensions because that's what it's outrage farming because it makes them money, that it's destroyed people's trust. And that's why people like Andrew Tate are able to go around and say dumb shit, talk about the Matrix, and people like believe it. Because of that, like, just dishonesty, that viral dishonesty that's been going on.
One thing that stands in the way of truth, for example, is when we often do documentaries, we have full access to speak to anyone we want. No, but in this documentary, we've been very closely watched by the sartorial shooter, Alpha Wolf, picking who we can speak to, you know, monitoring the interview. What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
This question is so low. This is low. It's low. We let you in. We tried to take care of you, and you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
It's a consistent leading question, it's a consistent narrative. What is the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave. Okay.
In the days afterwards, Tate is banned from YouTube, TikTok.
It's interesting. It's always this like, what about the questions about the good that he's doing for men? And it's like, what? Like, I don't understand. Why? Why does that matter? Because he's not having like this profound, overwhelming good force. He's an overall negative force. And not for nothing, there's like nothing really viral of any of the good messages that he has. You know, maybe you think that they're good messages, but there's usually dog shit. Like, I don't understand. It's a cop-out. You know, that would be like saying, and I hate to be hyperbolic, but that'd be like saying like, hey, how come we don't talk about the good stuff Hitler did? Well, he was a really bad guy. And I know Andrew Tate's not rounding people up and putting them in camps, of course. He's not as bad as Hitler. But that's not saying much. Like, that's not exactly like a crazy thing. You know, it's the same thing. Like, think about this, because I think this would be considered, people are like, maybe this will resonate with people. Kanye West has been going fucking crazy, saying crazy conspiracy theories. But nobody is really anymore saying, well, what about the good stuff Kanye West did? They were for a while, but he's gone, like, he's hit a point where of no return, where it's like, yeah, his shit's so bad that you can no longer make like the, well, what about the good? What about the good? Because he's been so like terrible and anti-Semitic. And it's funny that we shit on Kanye. We should for like this anti-Semitic shit that he's saying, but nobody cares that like people are being like that Andrew Tate being disrespectful to women. It's just so interesting. Andrew Tate could talk about how like modern women are terrible and like, you know, women can't do this and women can't do that. But like, you know, and we don't care. But when it comes to Jewish people, we have a meltdown. When it comes to black people, we have a meltdown. Like, why are we treating women as less than like fucking like racial and ethnic minorities and religious minorities? Or I don't understand.
Facebook and Instagram, to the protest of his fans.
They have shut us down. This is warfare against the West.
For a moment.
Yeah, I don't think Alex Jones is quite a fucking scumbag too. I mean, that was interesting seeing him like. I mean, it's funny because I watched like This Place Rules. I know we're supposed to hate Andrew Callahan right now, guys. I'm sorry, but like I saw the whole War Room thing. Excuse me, not the War Room thing. I'm sorry. This Place Rules, and it's interesting where he talks to Alex Jones, and then Alex Jones, you know, basically admits that like he thinks that these people are stupid. He thinks that the people he's talking to are dumb. Like, that's the way that he talks about them. He literally says, like, yeah, these are simple people. They want, like, really watered down, like, dumb fucking messages. And then he didn't even show up to January 6th after he riled it up. It's crazy, you know? Alex Jones is such a bad guy. It's fucking nuts. People really should keep that in mind.
It seems the deplatforming has worked.
But now it's like, if anybody who gets deplatformed is considered, like, a fucking, like, is, like, martyred in some capacity, which is why maybe we shouldn't just keep deplatforming people. I'm not entirely sure that's the best way to go about it. Because it just like ends up martyring their fucking position, and then you're just pulling people away from algorithms that can pull them out of the shit. You know, on YouTube, of course, you see an Andrew Tate video, and it gives Andrew Tate the opportunity to utilize YouTube. But then, like, if he's on there, at least people can engage with him more easily. You can see comment sections that disagree with him, and then the algorithm can direct people towards other videos. Maybe instead of banning Andrew Tate off YouTube, what they should have done is provide resources so that people can, you know, find stuff that is like against Andrew Tate instead of like a bunch of like fucking pipelines that support him in some capacity. They just feel like there's probably a better way, because now all these people are going to like Rumble and other websites and stuff, and they're staying off of YouTube now. And then they're only interacting with like banned creators. And like, I don't think all creators in Rumble probably aren't bad, but most of them are probably shit. There's a reason why they're not on YouTube instead, because like they say some fucking wild shit, conspiracy-esque nonsense. And so now you're just having a pipeline of people who are just interacting in like this fucking echo chamber and just like, shouting at each other, and doubling down and agreeing with like all the fucking crazy shit.
But then, he reappears on Instagram with an emoji covering his face.
You're lost. You understand you're living inside of a mechanism which is designed to control you.
He moves to Dubai, converts to Islam, sets up a new bank entirely owned by him.
Do you think that I feel like his whole Islamic thing, like what do you think that the Islam thing was just a way to try to make, to reimagine himself? So he's like, oh, see, I converted to Islam. I'm a good guy,
And rebrands the Hustlers University as The Real World. In the first month after being deplatformed, he made $11 million and got 250 million views on TikTok alone.
Jesus.
Months later, Elon Musk reinstates his Twitter account and he gains 1 million followers in 24 hours.
I have no criminal charges. There's no charges at all against me. I have not hurt any women. No women are coming forward saying Andrew hit me. Zero.
Apparently the Romanian government's been working on this for like months or even years. They've really been trying to like push this, but they've been trying to do it the right way.
Andrew maintains that he has never abused a woman. But when we get back from Romania, we finally manage to speak to some women from his past. Amelia began seeing Andrew in 2013. Due to fear of harassment from his fans, she is withholding her real name.
I always knew, even from back in the day, there was always things said bad about him. But when I'd seen him again in 2013, I thought, oh, all these rumours about him may be false, because he's actually been really lovely. The first time I went around his house, because before it was like maybe 3-4 times we got on dates, we started to make out on the bed. Out of the blue, he literally just stopped what he was doing and just laid back. He said, I'm just contemplating whether I should rape you or not. And I promise you, within an instant, he changed. He just jumped straight on top of me, grabbed my throat, started suffocating me, strangling me. The more I didn't want to, it made him so much more aggressive, to the point where he was pinning me down, hurting me. The things he was saying to me, he was like, who do you belong to? Who do you belong to? And the more I couldn't say it, the more he'd hurt me.
Like, here's the thing, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, this is a fetish. It can be, but not everybody's for this fetish. And when he's hooking up with a girl who clearly doesn't know him very well, you can't just do this type of stuff. Like, when I would have casual sex, I never did any of this shit with the shit I would do with my wife with these people, because like, you don't know them. So you're not going to have like any rough stuff. Like, that takes like actual bonding time and trust with somebody to be able to engage in stuff like that. You can't just go around and start trying to do shit like that, which is what Andrew Tate clearly is just doing. Just because it becomes non-consensual if it's somebody that doesn't want it. You need absolute express consent to be doing like a very aggressive shit in bed. Like, you don't get, like, I understand regular sex, like, is different, but like, when you want to, like, first of all, you should get enthusiastic consent from all parties, and we should try to create comfortable spaces to do that. You know what I mean? But like, this is a next level. Like, that person has to be like, yes, I want you to choke me. I want you to slap me around. I want you to beat me. Here's a safe word, or here's what I'm going to do for you to stop me. Like, what do you want to do to stop it? Right? Because like, some resistance is going to be part of the fetish. So it's like, okay, what's the specific hand motion that you're going to do, or the specific word that you're going to say, or the specific this that you're going to do, or the that, or the this. It's very important that you establish these ground rules when you're doing something as intense as that. And so like, very easy to put somebody in a situation where like, they're not going to want to do it. So you have to get like absolutely enthusiastic express consent for shit like this.
So I couldn't see an escape. And at that point, I just gave up. And then when it stopped, he went to the bathroom and acted as if it was normal. So I'm like, maybe I did. Did I want it? Did I not? I definitely said to him, please don't, and he told me, shut the fuck up. Definitely got strangled. I definitely didn't want it. Did he think I wanted it? And you look back, the psychological warfare you have with yourself is like, you couldn't even imagine. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand it unless you've been through it. Can't even say the damn words.
Have you since come to terms with the notion that that may not have been consensual, that may have been...
I know for a fact it wasn't consensual.
But it's hard to use the word.
Even though I know...
Been with the notion that that may not have been consensual, that may have been...
I know for a fact it wasn't consensual.
Okay, I just didn't hear what they said. They said if they know for a fact it wasn't consensual. Okay.
But it's hard to use the word.
Even though I know technically it's true, that did happen, that is what happened to me, I still don't like vocalizing it.
Amelia's method of coping with the alleged rapes was to pretend to herself that it was a normal relationship.
The abuse wasn't consensual because he knew I didn't want it, which he confirms in multiple voice messages and texts to me.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turn me on. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. And all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now.
Just the fact that he's admitting that she was complaining about it means that it wasn't consensual. What's interesting is people are saying that this isn't real, but so it sounds like AI. I don't think so. I think it just doesn't sound like the overhyped Andrew Tate character that you're used to, which is still Andrew Tate. It's just an extra version of himself, and it doesn't sound exactly like that. So you're like, well, no, this isn't real. That it is, but just keep in mind that, like, you know, some of Andrew Tate is a performance. That doesn't exonerate all the bad things that he says, because clearly he lives his life as like a scumbag fuck based on what he's saying here and his like normal persona. But like, just because he's not as like on character doesn't mean that he's not this guy.
Every few months, Andrew would send me on a different number messages to remind me of how dangerous he was.
I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
Scare tactics to make sure I wouldn't go.
I'm one of the most dangerous men on the planet. I have a sword. I carry around that fucking sword. Okay? Makes me feel powerful.
Go anywhere, go to the police, wouldn't report, would always be under his control. It was always to remind me that he was there.
After 6 months, Amelia eventually left Andrew when she says she began to fear for her own life. In 2014...
Yeah, so a lot of people question this. They're like, oh, well, if she was raped, why'd she stay with him? It's not abnormal for somebody to get sexually assaulted by somebody and stay with them. A lot of sexual assaults happen through somebody that somebody knows. And so it's possible for the relationship to even begin by getting sexually assaulted, and then a woman being like, no, that didn't happen, and then them dating them. And that's a whole mind fuck in and of itself. You know? There's a level of like reclamation of like, if I do it consensually this time, that means that it's always been consensual, shit like that. So like, it's a lot more complicated. You know? So it doesn't just, I understand that if you don't have like a super like, you know, these things are very complicated, so I can understand you not getting that. But like, I would like look into it. I would look into, if you actually do care and you're not just saying that as a way to be dismissive, I would say like look into some resources about sexual assault and people staying together afterwards and like the psychological impact that it has on people.
She also decided to report the incident to police, who logged it.
The year after, I got a phone call from a police officer from Hertfordshire Police. She said to me, we have 2 other girls that have come forward and said the exact same thing as you. Would you please be willing to come onto this investigation to make this case stronger? And without any hesitation, I said yes. And I thought, well, if there's 2 other girls, I'm not alone now. I'm not alone.
One of those women was Sally. She was 20 when Andrew Tate approached her for webcam work. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is also withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night.
You know, it's just one of those things where it's always such a huge red flag when one person is drunk and the other person isn't. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, if you're in like a relationship with the person, I get it's different, but that's not what this was. It's just fucking crazy. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't see, that's a bizarre area. I don't know if I'd call it sexual assault, but it's certainly another aspect of like some kind of potential predatory behavior where one person is super drunk and the other person isn't. Like, why wouldn't they both be drunk? Like, why are you feeding somebody alcohol that if you're not going to drink it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not like a recreational thing anymore. It just comes off as like, what's your motivation for feeding them and getting them so drunk? Like, were you trying to have, like, lower their inhibitions to have sex with them? Like, that's fucking nuts.
Then it was kind of like every single night I would work.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And, when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. That's kind of when I knew, you know, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview, and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update, I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The decision to prosecute based on the police's evidence would be up to the Crown Prosecution Service.
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence.
You witnessed the...
It's crazy how much information they had. They had audio files, they had all this shit, and yet it was still insufficient evidence.
Rape occurring, did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove rape. Very difficult.
The Crown Prosecution Service said, in this case, we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complainant and concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction.
I mean, they still could have taken it to court, but they just didn't want to fight it. I mean, that's the bigger thing.
In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported rapes result in a charge, let alone a conviction. In a statement issued via his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied the assault or rape. He said, "They wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me." Sally said, the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk.
I would like to, I wish we could like read what it was in the full context, because he's just saying like, oh, they were talking about me to try to extort money out of me. It's also possible that they were trying to figure out, I don't, like, maybe they were discussing like whether they should talk about the alcohol, because maybe they would be like, well, they're just going to say we were drunk then. He couldn't have raped us because we were drunk and we must have wanted it and just regretted it. And maybe that's why they were discussing that. I don't really know. You know, we need to be able to see the specifics and like the context of that.
They clearly didn't think.
But considering Andrew Tate's track record, I tend to believe the girls a lot more.
A text from...
Oh. What do you get from hating it? Because I'm a terrible person. Oh, this is him talking to her. Mr. fucking nice. Yeah, and I love raping you and watching you let me while still debating if it's a good idea or not. I like the conflict you have and you don't have it. Don't deny it. Makes you feel powerful. No.
A man to a woman saying, I love raping you. I know what I do to you is abusive and controlling. To CPS, apparently, that's not enough.
What did they write it off as? Like, why isn't that enough? I just don't understand why that's not enough. Were they like doing like a CNC fantasy? I just tend to, like, I just doubt it. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't add up. Because I've done like, consensual non-consent shit, and I've messaged people like that. It's always like consensual. I just, oh, Jesus Christ.
I did the bravest thing I think I ever done in my life, which was hell. 4 years of absolute hell, going through an investigation without anyone knowing, and basically to do it alone, was all a waste.
Despite repeated requests, Tate's lawyer did not provide a response to Amelia's allegations. The Romanian investigation into Andrew Tate and his brother finally led to an arrest on the 29th of December.
The Matrix has attacked me.
Yeah, the Matrix,
Police accused them of using the Loverboy method to traffic at least 6 women into a Romania-based webcam sex business. But we now know similar allegations have dogged Tate for years. His followers are obsessed with the idea that the Matrix is conspiring against him. But if anyone in the story is the victim of a conspiracy, is it the multimillionaire celebrity? Or is it the women who claim they were abandoned by the system?
Probably the women, yeah.
You know, you see all these young men talking about how he's such a great guy and he's their idol and stuff, and that's so difficult to see. There are better role models out there. Don't be fooled by all the money and the nice cars and all the women. Working on yourself and becoming a better man and better mindset, yeah, but real men don't lay their hands on women.
True. All right. Well, that was that. I don't know if there's anything else.
Too often, traditional news outlets shy away from the real stories and experiences of those living through global conflicts, not Vice News. Our report.
Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, interesting video.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.